In the exercises in the remainder of this video series, I'm going to use a database that I've defined in an SQL script file. If you don't have access to the exercise files, you can find a copy of this database script in the free exercise files available on the lynda.com website with this video series. If you have access to the exercise files, you'll be able to import the database quickly and easily in phpMyAdmin. You'll find the SQL file in the 04 Create Database folder under Exercise Files. It's named ExploreCalifornia.sql. You can open this up in any text editor. I'm using TextPad on Windows. I'm first going to walk through the database structure and show you how the database is defined. In the top of the SQL file, there are some comments that indicate the character set, connection, and names. Then the table structures and data are added. For each table, there's a drop table command and then a create table command. This allows you to run the script and it'll wipe out any existing versions of the database tables and then create the new ones. The first table is named admin. It has three columns called admin ID, the primary key, username, and password. Username and password are both variable character columns. The primary key is admin ID, the engine for the table is myISAM, and then the character set and auto increment properties are set. The auto increment is always set to the next available numeric value for the table. There's one insert statement that adds a single row to the table. The primary key is set to a value of 1, and so the next available primary key would be 2. So that's the admin table. I'll be using that in exercises about authenticating users on databases. The next table is named Explorers. Once again, it has a primary key column. This time it's named Explorer ID. Then it has a whole series of columns, such as first name, last name, and so on. Most of these are variable character or text columns. There's one column, though, named DOB for date of birth, that's set as a date column. There are 3 existing records in the Explorers table, with primary key values of 1, 2, and 3, and so the auto increment is set to 4. The next table is named Packages and refers to tour packages. It has a primary key named Package ID and 3 variable character columns. And then there are 9 records named Backpack Cal, California Com, and so on. If you're setting up this database from scratch, you can add any values you want into these columns. The next column is named States, and it's a list of the states of the Union. It has 2 columns named State ID and State Name. The first column is set as the primary key, but in this case it's not an auto-increment column because it's a text-based column. With the States table, the first value in each row is the 2-character abbreviation for the state, and the second column is the name of the state. There are 51 records in this table, including 50 for the states themselves and 1 record for the District of Columbia. I'll be using this table in an exercise about data entry forms, and I'll show you how to take the data from this table and display it in a pull-down list that lets the user select a state. I'll scroll down a bit to the next table, which is named Tours. The Tours table has a primary key of Tour ID and a package ID, which is a foreign key. This column, Package ID, lets you relate the table to the Packages table using a primary key foreign key relationship. Most of the other columns in this table are variable character or text columns, but there's one column named Price which is set with a data type of double. A double is a numeric value that allows fractional values. The double type is very commonly used in MySQL to represent currency values. There's another column that's not text-based, it's called length, and it's an integer value. This is the number of days for each tour. And then there are 20-something records that are provided for that table. So that's a look at the database structure. I'll show you how to import it. I'll go to phpMyAdmin. Before I can run the script, I need to create a new database. So I'll click into the Create New Database field and type in Explore California. And then click Create. Once I've created the database, I can import the script. I'll click the Import button at the top. Then I'll browse and select the SQL file from the 04 Create Database folder of the exercise files. After selecting the file, I'll click Go in the lower right corner. It takes only a second or two to execute the script and create the database structure and data. I'll click into the first table, Admin, and show you that there's one row with a username of Explorer1 and a password of password. I'll click into Packages and show you that there are 9 records, States and show you that there are many records for the various states, and Tours.